So, greetings to you all. Thank you very much for joining us. You are tuned in to COPUK Radio, Community Welfare Matters. Our topic for today is social media and how it's impacting on us. I have with me today in the studio, it's Uncle Sam, and I've got Hilda. I've got Rhoda. Sorry, I haven't got Hilda here. I've got Hilda waiting for us at the back of the on Facebook, waiting for us. We've got Rhoda there, and then we've got Trish. I think it's better for you to introduce yourselves. But if I try to introduce you, then
Hey, hi guys, I'm Trish. Thank you for tuning in.
Hello, I'm Daniel.
Hi, my name is Rhoda.
And we've got Stephen, and we've got Hilda waiting as well. And thank you, you're here, and we're all here. We're very excited because our topic we think is very, very exciting as well. Our topic for today, as I said before, is social media and how this is taking over your lives. Is it all bad?
No.
Is it all good? What is it all about? So let's see.
Okay, so some of the social medias, well, the bait ones.
Bait
means
Bait
you're giving us young people's
sorry.
language.
Let me,
no, it's okay.
Yeah,
Speak
it's
the language
fine.
and
When Trish
explain
says
to
it, I will
us.
explain what it
Yeah,
means.
so-
Bait means is when it's noticeable, like
No.
it's the main one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the main ones are Snapchats.
Snapchat. How does Snapchat work?
Just pictures and just talking.
Yeah, basically you do videos or pictures and you post it onto your story for everyone to
to
see.
see.
Yeah.
And it's just for a few minutes, isn't it? Or a few seconds.
Yes.
No, 24 hours.
Oh, 24 hours.
Yeah.
Then it goes
See?
away.
Yeah.
But with the thing with Snapchat, you can have your friends like seeing it, but you can have anyone else.
Anyone else seeing it?
If your thing's on open, then anyone,
Yeah.
if they type in your name, they can find your like story.
Yeah.
And just watch.
So they're
what
like,
you
there's
do.
like,
So even if they're not your friend,
yeah.
they can still see.
Depending on what what you put your settings on, because there's settings. There's two options. There's either only friends seeing it,
Yeah.
or for everyone else to see it.
Right.
And the main people that put everyone to see it is like the people that are Snapchat famous. People that have like they get promotion and stuff like that. Like especially like if you're doing a hair business or a makeup business, they are normally on open so that people like would like to book them. Like it's mostly business and like famous people as well that like to go on.
Okay. All right. So
Okay, so
yeah.
another one is also Instagram.
That's dead.
But
Instant.
yeah, the main one is Snapchat.
Snapchat,
but another
'cause
one is
Instagram.
So are we saying Instagram? We've got Angel Marie already on the online now. She's saying most don't know the proper way to use them,
That's
to
very
use the
true.
privacy settings. Because if you don't know how, and this is what's going on, this is what the big deal is all about now, even on Facebook as well, that our information is out there. Everybody, people are just, people can tap in and
Yeah.
use your information, and people are selling our information out
Yeah,
there.
I want to say something about what she said. People don't know how to use it, but when you download Snapchat, for example, it automatically comes as private. Like you're private, unless you want to change it to open. So people, like when she says people don't use it in the right way,
Yeah.
that's them making their choice not to use it in the right way because they're the ones that put it on open for everyone to see the information.
Okay,
and
so
everything.
nobody can argue. You're telling me that I can't come and argue that, okay, I opened my Snapchat
Yeah.
and somebody's gone in it.
No,
I
I mean, like,
can't.
I'm
I
talking
can't.
about like when like your Snap, everyone. Like, let's say if me and Trish aren't friends on Snapchat,
Okay.
and she decides to put it on open. That's her decision to put it on
Okay.
open. So
Okay.
for
So
me,
people have a choice.
choice to
Okay.
However, even though it already says that on Snapchat, there's a new feature where it's basically
ghost mode.
yeah, you can have
Snap
ghost, but normally when you first have it, it won't go on ghost mode. But basically, it's where
Oh, mine did.
any one of your friends or anyone that follows you on Snapchat, they can see your location.
Yeah.
And on Snap, the only reason why they can't see your location if you turn it off, but some people don't know how to put it on ghost mode. So, for example,
Sorry. Oh, ghost mode. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm learning. Let me sit properly. I'm learning today, and I'm Anne Marie
I've
said
never used it before,
Instagram. So
I'm listening to
I'm
you.
listening
Yeah,
and
you
I'm
go on.
learning new things, and we're getting a lot of information from Anne Marie as well. She's saying Instagram, you have to put it on open, and she's right. But I meant more Facebook.
Oh,
People-
Facebook.
Yeah,
oh.
she meant Facebook.
we don't use
Eh,
Facebook, that's why.
people don't use the privacy settings, but complain later. So these are the things that people need to be careful about. And with Snapchat, she's saying that, and those are public, but Facebook can be locked down. Yeah, because I know if you go on somebody's Facebook and you're not their friends, you can get in.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But sometimes you pick it from other people.
Yeah.
So,
Mutual
for
friends.
instance, you are a friend to somebody,
yeah.
and I've seen people who come in on Facebook particularly, they will say, oh, I got these pictures from a friend. So a friend who's got other people's party somewhere
Uh-huh.
or naming ceremony or something will pick it from another friend. But you are not a friend of that person.
Yeah.
So the whole idea about some of these things is how you give it. So for instance, if you're putting a party, wedding or some photographs
Yeah.
on
Facebook.
then realize that the kind of boundaries, or if somebody posts it to another person, even you don't talk to, you can't complain because they might have got it from another person.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I'm saying. So sometimes it's about how these things, the privacy, because yes, you might limit to some friends, yeah, but as to where it ends, you don't have more or less control over it, and that's how Facebook is becoming now. That's why everything you put on Facebook, the things you send text through all this social media, even emails, you need to think about, do I need to send this? So to me, if you start from that basis, if I've had a photograph, if I've had a wedding and I want to put on my Facebook, it's different. Yeah, but as to where it ends, you cannot control it.
Right, because what Anne Marie is saying here is that sometimes some people make public posts. Yeah, there's an option in the settings to limit past posts. What that does is it will make all past posts friends only.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then in case you have old posts you don't want seen by a stalker. Yeah, so explain that bit to me. Because obviously I'm not techno savvy, and you understand it better. Explain it to me, what she's trying to say.
This is when, say you have old posts from a while back, and then someone new gets onto your Facebook, like they add you, they won't be able to see it,
Yeah,
but like your old friends will be able to see it because you've had them since that time.
right.
So your friends will have access,
Yeah.
but somebody will not be able to tap in through the friend.
Yeah. So
And I think it's all about these settings. Yeah,
Right.
it's all about
That's
these
what
settings
she's
because
saying, it's
sometimes
about settings.
the way people, because people come to me and say, oh, I picked this from friends in US because I go to this meeting, and people they don't even
Know
know
you.
them,
Yeah.
but they've picked it from, and they come and show, oh, do you remember this person when we had this party recently? There was some photograph somebody
I
sent.
need to go and check my Facebook again to see if
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
my settings are okay.
Okay, because
I need to go and check. My settings are okay. I know I got, my kids to do it for me, but I think I have to check it again. Because if you don't, then you have all sorts of people there,
because
as
what-
is being said.
yeah,
You know?
what we have to realize
Pick
now
and
is that
choose what you post. Yeah.
what you have to realize is that if you listen to the recent incident where the chief executive, Mark, went to the Congress and gave.
Yeah.
They themselves are even learning some of this
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So my advice to anybody is that anything you don't want people to know, you don't put it on Facebook.
Don't put it out there.
Yeah, especially photographs or something. And that's why now, even coming down to us here, there are criminal offenses about to who uses those pictures. So there are other ones we will talk about later. But we are talking about the basic things. Because there are people who will put anything. You have children. You've had ceremony for your children. Do you have to put it on Facebook? I have issues about that. Because some of the children are going to go up, and sometimes where the pictures end up, and especially when people feel that they have issues with something. Or let me take a simple example. There have been cases recently where divorced people, they've had children, and the mother has taken the children somewhere. And when they had the photograph somewhere, I'm not going to give you details, they took the photographs and put it on Facebook. Straight away the dad took it and used it for a court hearing. The reason I'm saying is that then the argument is, other people took the photographs and put it there. So what they were investigating was that the mother was being irresponsible where the party took place, and the surroundings with the children was not supposed to be. And they said where we had the party, we had usually children's side and all that. But there were serious drinks out there, people smoking, alcohol and the children were there. And somebody has posted it on Facebook, and this father who has got his own issues were using it against. So the point we are trying to get across is that sometimes, yes, that mother's argument is that I never put it there. Yeah, so somebody is there like suicide who were attending the party, took the photographs and put it somewhere, right? So the point we are learning is that we need to be sure that anything we do not want to go public, if people put it on social media, we can challenge it.
I think now people are not thinking straight because it comes back to bite them.
Yeah.
Nothing is private if you put it on social media. And we've got another comment to say that the courts cannot use social media, in the courtroom to against you or anything like that. But because I know that as a social worker, the court have asked me to go and find somebody on Facebook.
Look,
to go and check social media.
Let me rebuff that. I went to a court hearing in West London, for confidentiality. I can't go in. There was a guardian. A guardian has used private detective. Private detective. Why? Because there was a specific thing this mother was denying, right? And the evidence was clear. So the guardian, in her summary, has used private detective, and she presented it. When he got the information, what he did was she went back to the mother, right? So in answer to the person that the court cannot use, I can understand where the person is coming from. It's like when you go to somebody and you're having a conversation with somebody and you are taping his record, and you are not doing that. That one is different, right? That one you are setting that up. But this person was denying certain things. There were evidence that this mother drinks. There were evidence that this mother takes the child to a certain pub, right? The guardian did her private thing and went to the mother to confront her.
We are able to do that. They tell us. I mean, they've even advised. There was an article where they said that we should, if you're where children are concerned, you can't search. You can't search for parents. You can't look for parents and things like that, and use it. We've been advised to do that before. So saying social services can use it to take your children away.
I think it's different. You don't, for instance, if you're working in a family, you have to build trust. But when it get to court or when you get to a situation where parents are consistently lying and there's evidence in the public, they can investigate that and do that. But yes, sometimes I think that there are ways. They could counter it.
I think another problem with social media is like, the aspect of people pretending to be other people, so catfishing. I still like till this day now, I feel as if people, it still happens now, because you think like,
but not as much. I don't think not as much as before. Before, this used to be quite a lot, because there used to be always cases on it and news reports on it.
But still, like, even people our age, like, for example, in my school there was 2 girls, and they were very close, right? And the other girl, like,
close in what way, like?
No, close, like friends close, right? No, just friends close. So, because one of the other ones was breaking out and having new friends, the other one got jealous, and for 2 years straight, she made a fake Facebook account and pretended to be the girl's boyfriend. And she was saying how she'll convert to like Islam, so they can be with the girl, because the other friend was Muslim, so she fell for it. So then she pretended to go meet up with the boy. So social media is dangerous already. So she pretended to meet up with the boy. So she was going to meet up with the boy. Then that's when her friend came and she got jumped. And what I mean by jumped is loads of people came and beat up the other girl, and she was saying, this is what you get for hanging around with this and that. And I just feel as if like social media, that's why you have to be extra careful.
Yeah.
Majority of the time, yeah, cool, you do know your friends. If you know this, you know that. But the people that you don't know, you can't always just trust them like that. It's a dangerous thing, you know what I mean?
That's good. I understand that as well. And it's not even, you can't trust them at all. You just don't open up to them. Like, I'm not gonna lie. For me, I have quite, like, everyone knows I don't have 400 friends, but on my Snapchat, that's the amount of views I get. Mm-hmm. But I think I know what to post and what not to post. Like,
exactly. It's about what to post and what not to post.
Like, the last time I posted, I'm not gonna lie, it was like April the 8th for my birthday, but I just posted a picture of me, like that, like without any location or nothing. So that can't really, if that goes far, it's not a big deal, because there's nothing noticeable that anyone can stalk me from that thing. But like when people add me on Snapchat, like, when they add me and then they talk to me, they be like, who's this? And I say, oh, Rhoda, no. And then, like, they try to, I don't open up to them. I just be like, oh, let's be friends. Or, no, like, it's just a bye, done. And they can just stay on my friends list. But they're not actually my friends. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, but if they're on your friends list.
No, like, cause, Auntie, I'm not going to lie. Not everyone, let's be honest, guys. Everyone on your Snapchat, they're not all your friends. Come on, let's be honest. Let's be honest.
Young people.
You just want more views. More views. We need more views. But that's the thing. Because we know that quite a lot of people on our Snap are not like friends. We know of them. Mm-hmm. So it's not like we know of them. Or even some people we don't even know. But it's the fact that we know that you're in our year or just like a little older. So we don't talk to them as we talk to our friends. Like I'm not going to lie. I talk to the church group chat, my school friends. That's it. Like, no one else knows.
Why are you whispering?
Oh, no, I'm not whispering. Oh, sorry.
Today we're going to be very open.
Yeah, I talk to my school friends, church friends. That's pretty much it on Snap.
Yeah.
Like,
and what my worry is that young people, despite all the publicity around the dangers, they still, speak to strangers online. They get involved. They speak. People are opportunists, and therefore we are getting comments here that people are opportunists and you have to be careful. You shouldn't trust anyone. Trust no one. She also says here that 96% of her list are people she went to school with, who I was never friends with back then, but they want to be friends, be Facebook friends now. Which is true. Some people want to be there. Sometimes I get people on Facebook, I'm thinking, and I just
accept them.
No, I don't accept.
Oh, you don't?
Why would I accept?
No, but that's
I don't know you.
But I'm not that's on Facebook. Facebook is different from Snapchat, because Snapchat you want views. You
Facebook
can't have
is
one.
more personal. Snapchat is about.
It's just there, like you just want people to think you're pretty.
Even though they
because
I think this Snapchat you should come down to earth so that we can talk about these things, because I am ignorant about this Snapchat stuff.
I'm not.
So you tell me, because sometimes, and one thing I've seen about young persons that I work with is that they are very secretive on Snapchat.
Definitely.
They are very, very secretive.
My eyes only.
What is my eyes?
My eyes only. Basically, on Snapchat, you can, whatever you post, you can save it onto your memories.
But if there's
like sometimes people are very nosy and very inner, so you just move it to my eyes only.
That has a password.
A pinker, so only you can.
So if anyone still.
So why are you putting it on Snapchat? If it's for your eyes only, why don't you keep it?
No, but it's like when you're saving it from memories, you just want it in your mind.
And it's not even that. The thing is, if it's like an ugly picture of you, and it's just for funny, like I'm not gonna. For me, if for everyone, Trish, like I'll send a picture of like me doing like
people are speaking in code.
No. Okay, I'll say we have like in the girls' group chat, we have like pictures like let's say if we don't have our wigs on or stuff like that, we'll just take a picture and stuff like that to have fun. If anyone goes on our phones, if I give my friend to Trish, I wouldn't want Trish to see that. So you put on your mask as only to keep free. You only put the nice ones. You only put the nice ones on your memories, and then the ugly ones on the man's eyes only, so that no one thinks that you're ugly.
So does it mean that my eyes only one could get out of?
Never.
No, that's
No,
private.
all right.
You have a code,
Now
a PIN number.
it's a code, a PIN number. Then,
Unless you share it, then.
all right,
yeah.
which is interesting. Yeah, which is interesting. See, because let's take it deeper. If we take recently things which other people have used, yeah, I'm taking it big different, and they've gone to court sometimes with Facebook and all that to say these terrorists were using this on what they call a WhatsApp and all that, and we want you to give us the first thing they said is that the moment we give you the code, yeah, to give it to them, then the whole idea of privacy.
Yeah, that's when Apple was.
Yeah, so that one,
the
I really
government.
stopped. I really supported them. Yeah. The next
No,
one.
but that should be balanced because it's at the public was at risk.
Yeah.
So if the public is at risk, then it should
Override.
It should override whatever privacy he's trying to protect.
Yeah.
If you're a terrorist and so I don't agree
No,
with
no,
that.
no, no. What I'm trying to get across is that the balance is that who determines that it's national security, right? Which that's what we are talking about.
Yeah.
Because the argument, all this young person, are you listening? The argument we are putting, I'm talking about young persons keeping things private, yeah, on the system, and a terrorist who a government has gone in to say we need this information because it's national security, yeah. So now I can understand that if it's private, I don't know if it's disclosed, but if it's anything against national security, then
it should be
it
disclosed.
should be disclosed. But then
To save
no,
the
but
public interest.
yes, but
and
this
protection.
media providers were saying that the moment we allow that, yeah, you twist our hands. You, the government, will rather be determine which information we release and which we don't release. So we are not going to allow you to decode. All I'm saying is that it's an area which is interesting because it's still going.
Delete somebody said protect privacy. Delete social media and get a flip phone. You know what I did with some of what I do with my young people. If I give you guidelines and you don't follow it, and I want to punish you, or I
take
give
their phones.
we take the phone and we give them brick phone. I authorize brick phone. I give my young person.
Some of those smartphones.
We call it brick phone, and for a whole month I gave this young person a brick phone, and she could not cope. She could not cope. She's a 13, 14-year-old.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
And somebody sent her an indecent image. A friend sent her an indecent image because she didn't go back, because she's not supposed to do that. And it's about trust. You're building trust with this young person and all of them, trying to promote guidance and boundaries. She goes by no rules in society. She doesn't respect anybody. So then what I did was I confiscated the smartphone and I bought her a brick phone. And she had it for a whole month. And she had to work for it, gain points for that. And it was very traumatic for her without social media. What is this all about?
Forget about social media. It's just the phone itself.
On Snapchat.
Oh no!
I think
that's tight.
this one is addiction. Yeah,
It is. Snapchat
what
especially
Auntie is saying
Yeah.
is addiction, and there's some areas Auntie will talk about that one about the science to check whether you're addicted. Yeah, but coming back to this issue, if probably you are talking about advantages of let's take
it one by one.
Let's take this.
Okay, one by one. Yeah.
Let's take what you people are using now, the Instagram and the Snapchat.
Yeah.
What are the advantages of these?
Okay, Trish, go
Media.
first.
Okay.
Can I say something?
For young people, for you young
for young
people,
people,
what
yeah.
do you think are the advantages
Advantages.
of this social media? Because for us, we grew up without social media. It's only about the last few years that we've been saturated and forced into it, kind of thing. But we grew up without social, and we survived.
Yeah,
We survived. We had values. We had morals.
By the time the Telegram gets to Accra, it's 1 week.
Yeah.
But you
We have morals. It's just
So
developed
tell
through
us,
technology.
what is the advantage? What are the advantages of
It's
social media?
just fun. It's nice.
No.
Fun.
Okay.
I
And
love
also, it helps develop your social development because you're meeting new people.
And you can
Predators.
You can plan
Are you
meetings.
sure about that?
Yeah,
You don't meet. You're constantly texting.
No.
You're not
It
meeting.
helps you engage.
it
It helps you engage in conversation for you to when you go
Okay.
when you grow up. It helps you engage in the conversation.
So it's promoting your social development.
Yeah.
For
Alright.
example,
Yeah.
like makeup pages.
Oh, but yeah, like let's say
Like your businesses.
if we Trish couldn't find it, if Trish didn't have social media, she wouldn't have no makeup to prom. Let's be honest. And you find loads of hair business, all the hair business are on Instagram.
Okay,
So, for instance, is it local? So, for instance, those ones you found.
Yeah.
It's not, most
No.
of them
Oh,
look
you-
like
you-
South.
From
Yeah,
US.
there's a very good girl, SB Hair.
So do you invite her to come?
Like,
and
no.
Don't
do
mention anybody.
Oh no, it's
They're
not.
not promoting
It's
it.
not. I'm not. No,
Somebody's business. Yeah.
Yeah, promote. Don't mention it.
For free, we don't do it for free.
Free promotion.
Anyway.
oh, we
Don't
have.
worry.
Yeah, go on.
Anyway, yeah, SB Hair. Like, yeah, it's local.
Okay,
like,
so
it's not
for
far.
me, what I've got is that social media promotes, looking at the advantages, promotes education.
Yes.
If somebody says social media is promoting your education, how does that work?
Because on social
How does that promote your education? I was expecting you to tell me that. How does
Okay.
social-
Wait, go on. Yeah, I think I know.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, homework.
example,
Yeah.
Let's say if you have like I have group chats with people in my school. Let's say if I'm stuck on a question and like it's like it's due in one day before, I ask, oh guys, who's done the homework or who knows how to do the question, and they'll help me. Like it's quick and easy for
Easy.
for example with education and all of that, for them to help you or explain it better if you can't meet in person.
Yeah.
So that's
Which is
another-
good.
Yeah.
So
Which is good. It's
So in
positive.
that sense, for instance, Stephen, you are preparing for GCSE.
And
Rhoda, you are preparing for GCSE. Take specific example of subjects you have contacted your colleagues to seek help when you are struggling. Be honest.
Okay, I'm being honest. All my subjects.
All your subjects,
Especially French.
which is good. Yeah. Why? Because this is what we need to get from social media. Because to me, I'm so tired of my whole life. Yeah, from work to home to children to family, that if you are going to send me something and it's not benefiting me, I delete it. Why? Because by the time you read it, and especially when they send you about 20 pages on social media on my
Like the
WhatsApp,
blow up.
I get so annoyed.
I get so annoyed because-
I don't like sharing stuff.
Say
Yeah,
I
which is-
I don't
don't.
like sharing stuff
the
with
things
people.
you share need to be able to help somebody
Exactly.
or encourage somebody. So going back to what people are saying, because I've worked with a lot of young persons, and when I go there and they are saying they are stressed, and I'm saying, what are you learning? Oh, I'm stressed. Meanwhile, what a person has sent him or her, it's not helpful. So the question I ask the young person is that, do you have a friend? Yeah. So why are you not contacting your friend who's helping exactly what you people have said? Yeah. To share. So especially this time of the year when you are there and young persons are struggling, if you have a colleague you know he or she is very good in area subject and you can meet them, you can have that discussion on Snapchat or on all that. Yeah. And those are the things you need to make use of this time of the year, especially when you are preparing for
So,
examination.
which means that for social media, there are really good aspects of social media,
Yeah.
and there are bad aspects of
Yeah.
social media. It is the use of social media that is being abused at the
Yeah.
moment. You see, because if you look at if we look at what look at the positives, you see that you get resources through social media, which is very good. It helps your learning. It promotes your studies in every aspect.
Yeah, it does. For
Yeah,
example, on Snapchat, sorry, Auntie. For example, on Snapchat, right, they get like pop-ups with stories, and one of them was, I saw it yesterday. It was an exam coach, and basically you add that person on Snapchat, and they just give tips on.
Oh yeah, and
how to learn
I also
how
saw
to-
another one.
that's another good one.
When you go on Snapchat, there's your friends, then the prime, and then you go on the other store. You go on to there's Discover, and they give. There was one that I watched. Was like, tips to cope with stress for exams,
Yeah.
and I read that. I was thinking that it helps. There's like some educational factors, stuff like that, and it helps you like. And there's that stuff about like hygiene, fashion, stuff like that. So
Yeah,
it's
health
and
eating,
like
all of those
clean
things.
skin and
So
stuff
those
like
are
that.
the things
helps, yeah.
in terms
And
of
I always
young
watch
persons.
it.
Because to me, you may have other things which you might not discuss here, but especially I'm more interested in the young person who are doing examination now to use those kind of media to support your other young persons to say, oh, for instance, you talk about the stress. When you see that, you come in and there other young persons in the youth group who are doing examination now, those are the things you got to forward to them because you are thinking about them, the timing. Yeah?
Exactly.
You are thinking about them, about certain things which will help them because there are certain things we all do. Because recently, I had information and I've said to some people, and the way they came back, the feedback was so positive, and you feel that you have done something. I don't feel it is to people, and even there are things. If I'm sending somebody, you have had a discussion. So in your example, yeah, you have a discussion with somebody who's going through exam stress, and the person has said that to you, and somebody has also, or you have found this on Instagram. To me, that's the basic.
That's something you can send
to
somebody.
that person to
you
encourage
can't
that
be
person.
sending unnecessary things. Sometimes sometimes if you send me something, I will fire it back and say to you, and the purpose is, what is the purpose of sending me this? Because it annoys me so much that you just flood my phone with nonsense stuff. People should not be forwarding things just because you saw it and you read it, or video that you saw. I should see it by force. I think you should also know who you are sending the things to. For example, you know me. You know the things I like. So you think, this will be interesting for Tracy, or this will be interesting for Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam is interested in children, or Auntie Tracy is interested in, the welfare of children. Yeah. So if I see a clip somewhere that is interesting, or in that area, I'll send it to her. Yeah. You don't come and go and send somebody whose head has been cut off in the boot. What is that going to do to me? How am I going to benefit? What do I need to see that for?
I think within the youth in our society today, I think the most things that get sent around, and I'm being truthfully, is the first thing is that when we hear stabbings and stuff like that, I'm not gonna lie, when we hear stabbings and stuff like that, that gets put onto social media. But I think that's beneficial because it's making awareness of like what's going on around awareness.
Yeah, but the actual graphic stuff should not be shown on social
media.
Yes,
and that's what I was gonna say. One thing as well that gets put into that teenagers is pornography.
All right. So when you come to this, no, guys, you come to that, but at the other side.
Yeah.
Let's concentrate first on this one because the reason why we need to talk about this beneficial aspect is that
it's a positive view. We need to change our way of using social media.
And also, what is important for you young persons is that now, if one of you found whatever you sent later as offensive, and the person wants to take it further, this is what social media is getting up to now. And this is what we need to think about. So going back to what Rhoda is saying, yes, the aspect of information, education, maybe health, or young person's views, maybe positively even this so-called stabbing, if it's giving information, but if it's stabbing which is so much graphic that it will upset somebody and you forward it, then you will be the source of distributing that. And this is where it comes to the next bit which we need to learn, that there have been cases, even though it's adult cases, where people have sent things in workplaces and they found it offensive, or in educational grounds, and they found it offensive and they reported to their head.
Yeah, because you young people, you
wouldn't
we do. We adults, we do.
No.
Adults do.
No. There's something. For instance,
adults are snakes. We're not snakes.
No. But one thing young persons forget is that if it happened on school campus or on school premises, and you found another person, and the young person became so upset that they tells your safeguarding person on the school.
Or they tell somebody, it will have to be reported.
It could be reported. And these are the things you got to learn from the other side.
To report
because at our workplace, if I have something and it's pornographic, or it's against children, or it's something animals, person doing something for animals, and I forward to a colleague, and that colleague tells my manager or tells somebody there, not because I'm a social worker, it could be an admin person, it could be a cleaner. If they send that for me and I find it offensive, that could be reported, and that person could be probably could be disciplined. So these are the other aspects we need to learn. It cut across everybody. And I know among yourself as a young person, you might say, we are doing our own secrecy, we are keeping it within our, which is okay. But what we need to be aware that if somebody takes offense of what you are forwarding, and that's why anytime you send anybody anything, that's be your first way of thinking.
Yeah, that's true, because in my school, right, we were having a PSHE lesson and we were talking about Snapchat and all that, and my teacher was saying, I think this is true though, she was saying how basically, let's say if a fight happened outside of school and someone's recording it and then they pass it on to someone else, and let's say it's reported, even though like it got passed on to you, you can still get in trouble for like you even just watching it as well. So that's another thing that
Very-
everyone
very
needs to be
good.
careful.
There was
Daniel wanted to say something.
I wanted to say that social media can be annoying in the fact that you know how social media takes up a lot of your memory, and when you're being forwarded by bare stuff like I've clocked
Your MB and GP are gone.
everything. And like I was what Auntie said about the graphic stuff on group chat. Like I was going through my dad's phone, and I went on the church group chat, and then I saw bare stuff that the church members send. Like I don't know what they
It's
find.
not beneficial.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
wait,
not
church
benef-
members from
Fountain
from
Gate.
the from the other one.
that.
Yeah.
Fuck.
All right. There's one thing I want to check about in response to what Trish said.
Yeah.
I went to a school in London, and there was an incident. Listen to this one, young persons. There was an incident of assault or fight, right? Other young persons were recording it, right? And they put their version on their version of this incident on your Snapchat, right? Meanwhile, the school CCTV recorded differently, how it all started, right?
Yeah.
So when they wanted to use that incident, because there were groups of young persons, so if
Rhoda
Rhoda is a friend to Daniel, and Trish is a friend to Stephen, they are groups. So Rhoda's people had a different version. Trish's people have a different version. But the
School had
the school had their original version, how everything started. So when they were making, Rhoda's group felt that they were going to suspend or they were. But
They were making
when
this-
we
making
saw
up stories,
the
yeah.
original one, even I said to the school when we were doing the investigation that I'm not interested. All that I want is that it's your school policy. This parent has complained that their child is being bullied. So you do your investigation. And they were trying to exclude my child, and we were fighting to say, look. And that's why I used to challenge them to say, you have CCTV, it's your policy. This parent. But what I'm trying to say across that it's not what you record. So those young persons who were using their recording, they were rather suspended, right? Because what they were using that one, but because the school had a very good CCTV, it overruled the one they've taken on and put on Snapchat. And the argument was that you were taking sides. You are on school campus, you don't record it, you report. You don't. When people are fighting,
you don't record.
You don't go and record because you are not a photographer or whatever you call it.
Somebody could have been killed. If
So-
people don't understand.
Understand? So all that we are talking about social media, the negative side is that when we are in school and we see this thing, sometimes you might say it's evidence. What is your motive of recording that? You were trying to support your friend, but you didn't know how it started. But the school one, when the other person was calling the person names and coming, and the person was running away, and the person was attacking, it was recorded. So the point I'm trying to get across is that you should not always believe what you find on social media, because some of them are fake, or some of them are using it to support their
Please, especially the blowing up of friends.
the arguments.
Just
Yeah.
remember.
Some of them are fake, and we can't talk about the negative. Are we talking negative or
We
positive?
talk negative,
Okay.
then we come to the.
Okay.
Oh, no, we move to positive now, negative now.
Well-
About this incident, sorry.
Okay, so now we've spoken about positive, and there's a lot of positives for social media. For even in politics, they use it for. It has.
promote.
I must say that it has improved our lives. It has improved society, but it's the way that it's used that's causing the problem now.
It's
And
misused a lot.
people are misusing social media. People making fake news on social media. People are keen to forward information, and these are the things that we need to be careful about. Hence our discussions. Let's look at the negative aspects of social media, and I will introduce cyberbullying
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
as
say
the
as
first
well.
point. Cyberbullying. What-
Okay, so one big negative is that social media, it exaggerates everything that happens. So, for example, let's say if me and Rhoda were to have an argument, right, and the argument's not that deep, but let's say Rhoda takes it to the next level and she forwards it. No, she puts an indirect towards me on her Snapchat story.
Tisha.
So already with an indirect, I mean like basically saying something like, let's say if this girl wants to fight me, no. Let's say if Rhoda said that on the Snapchat thing, and then it just gets everyone else involved, and
This is what is happening with the gang activity.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
not even gang.
Yeah.
Not even just gang.
Or rioting.
Barely.
Everybody.
No, actually, I don't know. I don't think
Right. Right.
gangs don't do indirect. They do direct.
No.
If they want
But
to
you finish this and we talk about that. Yeah.
For example, it exaggerates that and it causes bigger commotion. So with Rhoda already doing that, that's when, like we said before, people will forward it, and then people will because it practically when people indirect is entertainment to everyone else. So if someone's saying, oh, this and that about Rhoda, then I see it.
Like if they say something like, oh, they wish she died and stuff like that.
I won't say war, but in this case, it will be like war
It's
between
war.
Rhoda and me.
Tisha.
I put indirects towards her, and that leads to massive bullying. Because as soon as people see the indirects, that's when it does
because all your friends will now
people will
jump to your
take sides.
defense.
They'll take sides, and that's when people will feel as if, oh, I'm getting targeted by all of your friends. Doing this.
So
That
they'll
happens
also
right
start.
now.
And it also gives people confidence as well.
Yeah,
Especially
people
when
they
you're-
hide
like, when you
behind the typing things.
Keyboard
Yeah,
warriors.
keyboard warriors.
Sorry.
I've experienced them
Keyboard
too
warriors.
much.
Who warriors?
People,
Auntie-
it's when people they talk the most
they
on
can
thing,
talk
but
on
in
social
person
media,
they
but in
can't do
person
it.
They
they
won't-
can't say nothing.
they won't say
And,
anything.
Social media can.
So they call keyboard warriors.
Yeah.
Keyboard warriors for sure.
Yeah, Katisha.
So they hide behind keyboard
Party warriors.
and fight their
Yeah.
the arguments.
I have another point as well. Social media is bad because it can cause hacking.
Yeah, hacking as well.
Because
What your type of hacking? What type of hacking are you talking about?
serious hacking.
Hacking as in
Professionals.
There was one guy called Ramzan in my school. He hacked the whole school.
Oh, my God, on the tomb.
Don't mention them, please.
Oh, now I read.
Oh, that's not his real name, so it's calm.
public
You're so
names,
lucky it's
yeah.
not his real name.
Hacked my whole school. The system. He hacked some website called Show My Homework.
He hacked Pizza Hut. He hacked Domino's.
you know what? For me, for a young person who's able to do that, I think that he's so clever. Somebody needs to pick him up
Yeah, and
and
support him.
teach him and support him.
No, that's true. That's
channel-
true.
To channel his
To go
talent.
further. To go
Channel
further.
his talent to
Yeah.
positive, become some kind of a
that's-
techno guru or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that,
Because-
an IT guru
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
somebody,
'Cause
as
it's
opposed
good.
to leave him and punish him constantly. Put him there, force him to do something
So you do
better.
something
He can be
benefit
the work
with
for the
his-
CIA or something like that.
Because-
as opposed to
doing
just
something
you know.
benefit with his skills.
If you look at the current cyber war, with especially allegation against Russia and all that, there are people who are really talented,
Wait,
but
yeah.
they will rather hack into all these big banks, NHS websites. So coming back to this issue about hacking, yeah, and those are the things. It's like when you're in your house and you want to put security, yeah, whether CCTV or somebody or there are things, they are good, but it's only when you cross the boundaries, yeah, because this hacking, as you are saying, for anybody to have that intellect, to be able to go into somebody's sin, the same person should be able to use that intellect to protect other people hacking into that system. But these young persons, once you do that, what you're going to get? When you are found, you will be prosecuted. And you don't gain anything. But what they do sometimes is that sometimes criminals.
Yeah,
associate with
if
them.
we as adults,
Yeah.
positive adults, I must say, if you don't take this young person
Yeah,
and
and support
nurture
them, yeah.
his talent,
Yeah.
then a criminal somewhere will take
We'll
him
take them, yeah.
and give him a lot of money and then use him to commit crime.
Crime, yeah.
So we as adults, we need to grab hold of some, our young people. If this
Who
young,
are talented,
we
yeah.
identify that these young people are doing this. Yes, you punish them, but you need to teach them values. You teach them values that you can't just go into somebody's, computer and invade somebody's privacy. You need to teach them that, and you need to nurture those values, nurture those talents to bring them into, to make them into positive people in society.
Yeah.
As opposed to just punishing, excluding them and punishing and punishing and punishing. There are so many young people out there who are very clever. I tell you, when I went to Ghana, you see Ghanaian young people. If you go to Circle, they have got no jobs. Circle, they break into Apple. The way they are very savvy with computer.
What's circle?
Circle is an area where a lot of young people there are there hustling. They haven't got jobs and they're hustling. They are very clever. And I sit down and I watch them and I'm thinking, because you go there if you want things and all of that. And it really shocked me how talented these young people are. how talented they are. If only somebody will give them a chance. They finish school, they don't have chance they don't have good jobs. They got so much talent. You take your laptop to them, they can work with it. The laptops that you have here that you can't get, you throw away. If you give it to them, they will make them into new. I tell you, if you take it to Circle in Ghana, they will repair it for you. That's how savvy they are. And you need to there's nobody to nurture them. Nobody to nurture those kind of talents.
And those are the areas, coming back to our country now, with this youth unemployment and all that, the government need to kind of challenge this young person and bring them. So even if it's something the government is paying them to be able to do these repairs or do some other community work, then it's linked up, so that they don't go in there and maybe somebody comes in from abroad or somebody somewhere to say, oh, can you hack into one of these Ghanaian whatever agencies, and they're going to do that. Why? Because they think that they'll get big money. They don't have any work to do. And always idle hands what? We'll find something to do, and
they're hustling. They call themselves hustlers. They have to do it, Trisha,
so another thing that I feel as if is bad with social media is that because it's so to us young people, I can only speak on that, but because it's so addictive towards us, it's really distracting sometimes. For me, in my case, it was very distracting. That when it came to GCSEs, I just told my mom to take away my phone so I can focus. Because it's one of them ones when you're on social media, especially when there's stuff going on in social, when there's stuff going on,
and your phone is doing click,
and then you're just tempted, although you don't want to, you want to do something or do work, whatever. You're just tempted, and instead, that's why I feel especially with Snapchat as well, they've even published their colors of the app. All of it is very addictive, so it's just one of them ones where when it comes to it's a barrier. It's a barrier towards your work and
your progress.
As
much as it can be helpful, it can also cause a barrier. So you need to be sensible.
Yeah,
so
that's why
there's some questions. There's some questions here. Maybe I could ask. All these young persons here.
Let's do a test.
Let's do Q&A, question and answer.
And I want all of you. I'll
to
start,
be true.
No, when I say the question, I want to start from here. I want all of us to be honest to see. So it's like after that we will do what you call
be honest,
digital detox. So the first question is, do you spend a lot of time online, Stephen? Daniel.
Yes or no?
Yes or no?
Yes.
Rhoda?
Yeah.
Stephen?
Yes.
All right.
I love it.
The next question is, do you feel urges to use social media more and more over time?
Yes.
Yes.
You feel you can't sit down without your phone.
Yes.
You can't sit down.
All right.
Going on, man.
The next one is, do you use social media to forget your personal problems?
No.
To what?
To forget your personal
So
problems.
if you're going through problems, you just say, okay, let me go to social media. Maybe I've...
That's what.
Looking for quotes.
No. Oh, wait. Never mind. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it
No.
depends.
Let's say,
Yes or no.
The personal problems could be anything from health, could be somebody, your friend, maybe bullying you, break up, or...
No, break up,
anything.
Yeah. Because Jomo last couple weeks.
Isolation. Yeah.
I don't know.
Is Netflix part of social media?
Do you?
Shut up, just yes or no.
It is part of social media.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. Google social media.
Do you use social media to forget about personal problems?
Okay, Daniel, yes or no?
Yeah.
No.
All right.
Netflix.
All right.
Okay.
Why no? Why no?
Because I feel as if, especially let's say if I'm down, I don't feel as if social media will help me. I feel social media to me will make me feel even worse.
Wait, can I explain to you? When you mean social media, I'm the reason why I said yes is because let's say that this week I had a problem and as I will talk, I said it on the group chat. So they give you advice.
All right. Then the next question, maybe we'll come back to that one.
Okay.
The reason why I'm asking this question is that it's the same way that this social media, because if, for instance, there are personal things and you put on social media, the danger for you as individual, as individual is that it's not everything which comes there which will help you. It's the same as when people say, oh, I've got this one and they put it public.
Yeah.
You got to learn as young persons that there are things you got to tell mommy, there are things you got to tell a
Nothing.
teacher, there are things you got to tell a friend.
I'm
Because
not
the
always
moment you
teacher.
put on social media,
My snap.
the moment you put on social media, people's views are different. And sometimes the experience might not be necessarily.
No, like,
No, let's finish the questions. Maybe
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
diverting.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
let's finish the question.
Right. The next one is. The next one is.
Do you become restless or troubled if you are unable to use social media?
Yes.
Yes.
Wait. Like, would
Listen,
you,
listen to the question
Like
again.
how my young person
Are
was
we
there.
getting
Yes.
Snapchat?
No, I could, I'm not gonna lie.
Is it traumatic for
Yeah.
you?
It's not traumatic, but I just
No,
don't.
it
For
is.
example, let's say if my internet's down here, I feel very
It's
pressured.
tight.
I don't
I'm going to McDonald's.
I
Why
wanna
free
go to my
Wi-Fi?
friend's
but
house.
you have data.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
I go to my friend.
Wi-Fi
No, I go
down.
upstairs. Can I use the Wi-Fi, please?
All right. So it's restlessness, yeah? The other one is, do you often try to reduce your use of social media without success?
But, huh?
Without for my personal, I can cut off social media and I can do it.
Yeah,
like
I
that.
can.
Yeah?
I'm being
So
honest.
I'll
I
just get
can't.
someone
Okay.
else to take
Alright.
care of my street.
Alright.
That's it.
No, not streets. I'm still doing streets. So just I can just.
I have no, but I
can cut off
can't.
social. It's besides like watching stuff, yeah, like YouTube and all of that.
I'm not gonna-
That I'll get bored.
I think
Yeah,
no.
I can cut
This
off.
it sounds weird, but I'm sorry. But this is the weirdest thing I've said in my life here. But social media motivates me to do work.
Sorry.
All right.
It sounds
Yeah,
weird.
All right. No.
No,
back to that,
no.
we'll get back to
Oh
it.
yeah, we'll get back
Let's
to it.
finish
Finish the
the
question.
The last one says that social media, do you use social media so much that it has had a negative impact on your
Job,
relationship,
your job, relationship,
your
or
studies,
Yes.
or job?
Yes.
Wait, can you Daniel first? Go on.
Daniel,
Okay, I'll explain.
Can you explain? Can you repeat that question again?
So,
have you used social media so much
This will
that
take us to the break.
it
yeah.
has had
I've
a
got something
negative
to say on this
impact on your job, your relationship, or studies?
What do you mean relationship? Relationship with
one. The
friends?
friends
Yeah.
anything.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
When we come back, we will do the detox.
Oh,
Oh wait, Uncle.
Yeah. The reason is that
let's say one more.
these are the questions. This applies to everybody. It
Yeah.
could be from imam to a pastor, from a bishop to from young persons. So far, you see, social media has become such that sometimes people just go on it and they forget everything, because sometimes it might be good for you at the time, but when it reaches a situation where it affects your relationship, where it affects your job. Recently, adults, I don't know, young person might not have across it. Somebody was working in Ghana, custom somewhere, and while the person was working, the person was on her.
There was a WhatsApp
setup.
being circulated where this man or female,
Female.
she was working. While she was working,
custom
she had
officer.
a phone next to her, and she was doing social media.
So-
She would look
so
at the
she would
passport,
look at the passport,
and then she would
and
she would look at the,
and
she
this is affecting her
couldn't
job.
count- It's
And
affecting her job.
That
yeah.
person, if it gets to her boss, she will be dismissed with that because the evidence is there. Yeah. So when they're talking about negative impact, when we come back, we want you because you are doing examination, because you go to school. We always, I work, I do it, but I don't put it there until when it cool, then you go there. Sometimes I'm expecting something, it's there. I don't use it to the extent that, but it's about how you all use it. So when we come back,
Say it quickly.
we all have our issues.
Wait, Trish has something to say before you forget.
I don't want to
Go and
forget. I feel as if to that question, yes, because for example, let's say
Go
if
on.
I meet up with a group of friends, it doesn't like to me. Yeah, now society right now, really and truly, I'm not meeting up with them. We're all in the same place, but we're not talking. We're all on our phones. Like we're all together, but we're alone.
So that's so
You
true.
know what I mean? Like you're all in the same room, but you guys ain't. You know, like in society right now, we're not taking
Yeah,
time
that's-
to take care
exactly,
of each other.
exactly,
We're just
yeah.
doing it through the.
Yeah.
Like even me with my friends, and sometimes she's on the other side of the room. I just text her, "Oh, we do." Like sometimes, you know.
No, oh, no, no.
It's one of them ones. Yeah, we do.
Oh no, like
Yeah.
let's say if I'm in the living room, and my mom's in the bedroom. I don't walk. I just.
Yeah, exactly.
you
I
do
call
that.
them. Or I text. Oh, I'm going
Yeah, even
out.
my mom does it, she'll like, come to my room.
Yeah.
My mum only does that when it's like
Bring
late
me
at
the
night,
remote.
and she just want to shout my name because everyone's sleeping in it, so she just call me.
Nah.
My
Nah.
dad does that. He'll be upstairs. Would you call the house phone because we have tea?
Same.
Yeah, but I
Oh,
just
that,
feel
that's different. Maybe it's not coming up. But we are talking about where you are here like this and you are having a chat. There's a difference between you are having a chat or sometimes people go into their own world that they are there. But every 2-4 minutes.
yeah, exactly. That
Oh,
we're
so
all
what do you
together,
say,
but we're
Daniel?
alone, really.
What do you say, Rhoda? And those
I
are the
have
things,
worlds.
when it becomes like that, it cuts you off from the group.
right now.
In a chill.
Okay, so let's take a break and come back, and we'll talk about how this is impacting on our relationships, because they are in the marriage, among friends, and in the community, studies and everything. So we'll talk about that when we come back. We take 2 minutes break and come
Jesus,
Welcome back, COP UK
welcome.
Radio, Community Welfare Matters, and we are on the topic social media and how it impacts on society. We've said a lot, and we are at a point where we're discussing, just before the break, we discussed the negative aspects. Thank you very much for joining us. Call somebody to call somebody, to tell a friend that we are on, we're back on live, and share with your friend. Make sure you click that button to share. Go on YouTube as well, and then share with your friends, subscribe, so we can you can always join us, isn't it? Yes. Okay. So social media and the negative impact it has on us. We're talking about relationships, how it's having a negative impact on our relationships.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, so
okay.
as I was saying before we went on break, it just like it takes away that aspect of you actually meeting up and spending time with a person. But instead, when you're spending time with when you're meeting up with the person, you're not spending time with them, but you're spending time with your phone. So it kind of like takes away that aspect. Because as I said before, it's like in society now we're together alone,
but we're not. Yeah, we're together alone. I like that.
Yeah,
Because
like
we're just there, and then I know my friend sent me a clip where it says we can't even pray together. When you bend down there was this cartoon where people were just the whole family were there trying to pray, but you could see somebody sneaking to look at the phone. So I think it separated the family as well, don't you think, Uncle?
Yeah.
We don't communicate anymore.
Because I think sometimes, as you're saying, if people are even on a dinner table, some young persons will still want to. And sometimes when I tell my children that you are eating, can you put that in there? Sometimes they get upset. I say, look, we are enjoying the food. And sometimes, like in the course of eating, you want to have kind of chat. But you are. And sometimes, like, go. And
it's like you're inviting a third person into the room when you're chatting.
So sometimes it's like, I have a nice way of doing it. I will give you a nice drink or something to distract you. And sometimes they don't know. So when you have the phone there, I said, oh, this needs to be charged. Oh, it's okay. I said, no, it needs to be charged. They know what I'm doing. And it's a way of encouraging it, because sometimes when you are sitting down with people, you want to have a chat or something. Or even when
we don't talk anymore. People don't communicate anymore. Our children don't have time for us. I can remember how many times I've come home and I want to talk and I say, Mom, I'm on the phone. Oh, Mom. People are on the phone. They talk for so long. Somebody can be with their friend for like what? An hour chatting on the phone. More than an hour.
And you have shown a sign to maybe have a discussion or something you want to check. And sometimes you don't want to disrupt people's phone. And if it's something you're going to check, you're not going to wait for half an hour or an hour. So, yes, the communication is something. And it's also about sometimes we need to be aware of our environment. That can I cut this conversation of 45 minutes to say half an hour if it's very important, so that the people around me, if I need to check something with them or do something with them. Because one of the things, all the research shows that the individual ultimately is responsible for their own use of social media. And it's a cut across. Yeah?
It cuts across.
It's not because you are this or that. Because the bottom line is that you have it. And if you are on your own and you want to use it, it's different. If you are for a group like we are here now, we can't be having this discussion while I'm on my phone or you're on the phone. It doesn't work. So it's about you, no matter where you are, checking that, do I have to use it this time, or if I have to give it a break.
And also you are in control. So if, for example, you're on the phone and I come in, your mom comes in and they want to speak to you, you have to tell your friend, excuse me, I need to speak to my mom, or I need to have this communication. Can I speak to you later? You are in control of everything. So I think that is total lack of responsibility as well. Boundaries, respect, lack of, it's values. Values are lost in society now. We haven't even come to where people post nude pictures. These days, people are posting very nude pictures. So, and it's influencing young people, thinking they have to be the same. They have to be famous. They post a nude picture so they'll be famous because they have more likes. I was watching a video clip, and it says one of the key important thing the young people were saying in key important things are to be famous, and then to have more likes on social media. And when you have more likes, you get paid. I believe so. You get paid, when you have 1 million plus, you get paid. So people are doing all sorts of things to get
stuff.
People are doing all sorts of crazy things to get those likes, and it's important that we go back to basics and we remember our values, the values that we were brought up with. We don't show our breasts. We were brought up not to, expose ourselves. But now, in today's day and age, the woman does not have that dignity anymore. They just they just expose everything. A woman has to be virtuous. You cover up. But these days, young people are not covering up. Those people who want to be famous, I'm not going to wrap it around all young people, because there are decent young people out there. But people are not covering up. People are doing crazy stuff. And then when you come and talk about young people posting sexualized things on Facebook, on social media, that is just crazy. For what purpose, I don't know, Daniel.
Auntie, there was a case like this where this girl, I know what went through her mind, but she started posting videos of her naked, and then it went to the point where she started posting videos of her with men, and then everyone found out about her, and then her I don't know what happened, but there was one point where her video got uploaded onto a pornography website.
Really?
And now the girl's like, I don't really care, it was just a slip of my mind, this and that. But like, that's one.
But the thing is, she's not being paid. Number one, now you're giving yourself out there. Those who do that, they get paid for it. And it's just ridiculous that you should be doing those things like that.
And
once it's out there, it doesn't come back.
Very good.
It's out there for good. It doesn't come back.
And one thing a young person need to know, that people have lost jobs, because somebody saw something somewhere. And these are the things we all have to learn, because if they don't give you the job because they've done a search on you or whatever.
Employers are checking now.
They
will go on social media to check who you are.
There was somebody who got a job, and the same day they sent her to say, we have this on you and we cannot take you because of this, right? So the point we are saying is that the things we put in there, you might find it innocent now, but the question mark, or those of you who have done chemistry, is the litmus test. The litmus test is that make sure that if this thing were to be seen by my friends, were to be seen by my mom, by my dad, my future employers, would that get me? You are all now doing GCSE. You are now intelligent enough to know that if that picture will not be seen by people closer to you to be happy, do not post it. Do not put it. Or even common conversation, do not do it. To me, that's a test. Yeah, go on.
It's really getting bad. And then somebody was telling me, now young people don't go to Facebook anymore because adults have taken over.
So that's the platform for you guys. Snapchat's for us.
And I'm going from here on. I'm going on Snapchat and I'm going on Instagram.
We're gonna find a new app.
Daniel, you got to help me to be on, because everyone will not help me.
Don't be a traitor. We'll find it. If you guys come to Snapchat, we'll find something else.
But you didn't explain Instagram and how it works.
Instagram's nothing. Just post pictures.
Facebook.
Yeah, you just.
No, it's
I'm
no.
not on Insta.
Yeah, it's exactly. Yeah, Facebook. That's all you do. Post
No, but
videos.
Facebook you can do statuses. Insta.
You can do statuses. Yeah, come on. Yeah.
Instagram's not the same.
Yeah, you just
I
post
want to go on
pictures.
Insta as well.
Oh, that I'm not gonna lie. I think out of all of them, Insta is quite safe. Don't put your location. That's only it. But your location, you have to go settings to change that. But it's fine. When you,
I'm not going on Insta I'm going on Insta for a purpose.
oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Because you want to learn to communicate with some of these young persons.
Oh no, if you only that, go on Snapchat. Snapchat's better because more young people use it than Instagram. Instagram's worse.
No.
Instagram.
No, it's not true. No, but Trish, Instagram, everyone has it because it was before Snapchat came out. Do you get what I mean?
No one uses it like that.
No one uses it anymore. But if Madam Auntie,
No one uses it anymore.
no, they use it, but it's not as much as Snapchat. But if Auntie's going on it for a purpose, then
Yeah, to see
Instagram,
how,
Instagram
but
is more safe.
The
Wait.
purpose is to see see how young people communicate.
Not
all of that.
necessarily.
Not necessarily,
There is
exactly. You
another
don't know.
reason.
There's
Yeah.
another reason, probably confidentiality.
The other negative aspect that we can talk about also is about the relationship bit, where marriages have broken down. This is the adult aspect
it?
of it. Marriages have broken down, could break down. As I was watching a movie, and this lady, the husband comes back from work, tries to talk to her, and she's say, "Hello guys, see my cute husband," and I'll try to introduce. So it's like you're inviting a third person into the marriage. This man wanted to have a private conversation with the wife, and then you invite another person, because once you do that Snapchat, you've already invited people, not just one person, into your home already. You might as well call a party. And the guy just got upset and just, broke the phone. But these things, because she's been doing it for a long time, and this is no justification.
Yeah.
But
Wait, what's wrong
but
with
she's
videoing
been-
your husband?
No,
No,
but
but
he
no,
went to have
I think
private-
some of these things you can remember that there might be a fundamental issue underground, because if you come from work, he's tired, and it's not kind of something you do, kind of sense of humor, and he is into it. Yeah. So, talking about relationship, you have to know your partner, you have to know your friend, and it's the same as Auntie saying. If your friend, you're having a road that is communicating with Trisha, and Trisha doesn't want Daniel to be brought in. These are the boundaries we are talking about. You don't bring him in, or if sometimes, and it's why are you bringing him in? You stop, because sometimes, unless we are friends and we know what I like, and I say, this one, can you talk about it, and you push it, because more often than not, whether it's marriage, whether it's friends or something, when a third person comes in and the other person feels uncomfortable, then the relationship is breaking down. You could call it jealous, but we are talking about the boundaries, because he cannot prevent you from talking to Daniel when he's not there. But when the two of you are there and you are bringing the third person in relationship, in any relationship, and that person feels that at that time he should not be there, you are talking about. It is the same as people who, when they are there with somebody, having private time, and they've set it cuckoo, that every time there's a signal, they will stop the conversation or whatever they are doing with you and go on it. That itself could be irritating for some people. Why? Because they would think that you're not you're not paying attention to them, or you're not seeking their interest. So in relationship, there are minor things we all have to learn to be what we call, when we were young children, we used to call something etiquette. Yeah?
Etiquette.
Etiquette, yeah. It's like a French word, yeah. But these are common basic things we now take for granted, yeah. The
People do not have values anymore. You need to respect other people's boundaries. You can't just invite people into social media. It's just you're inviting somebody in. People don't seem to realize, and it's very. I think we need to look back. It does have benefits, great benefits, but at the same time, it has a huge amount of negatives if it's misused. So people need to rethink about the way they use social media. Uncle, you had something about the detox that we want to talk about.
But also, before that, there's one other issue we need to think about, that when people send things to you and you are forwarding, after we talk about this over and over again, that the one who forwards is responsible. It's not the one who sent to you. So if it's from you and it's going to Daniel, it's going to Stephen and Trisha, make sure that Stephen and Trisha, whom you forwarded to, are what? Interested. Other than that, you are still bringing something they could be upset and All right. When you talk about detox, detox is like any addiction. So, for instance, when you take people who are alcoholics, they go through a program. Sometimes it could be psychology, it could be a background. But detox with the things we talked about, the issues we talked about, the questions we asked you, in your detoxing,
I wasn't sleeping.
You got to take one each and ask yourself, because this is simple 6 questions we ask, and the way you detox is, you got to take individual question and answer it yourself and deal with it. So, for instance, if you become so stressed that if it's half an hour and you haven't gone on your Instagram, you haven't gone on your WhatsApp, you haven't gone on your Snapchat, and you are so much irritated to the extent that you are doing your work or you are having an examination or something and you are getting upset, then it's serious. Because what is it? Are you expecting so much that you can't devote time to do
Can
something?
you ever turn your phone off? Say to yourself, I'm going to do my work, I'm
Right.
switching my phone
Phone
off.
off. Yeah.
Can you ever do that?
Yeah, because one of the things I dealt with some young persons, yeah? Young persons. Can you believe that? And let me tell you, it's a typical example I'm giving you. This young person, we have sat with the young person, the mother, some other people have drawn a plan for 45 minutes. This was person who was doing GCSE. 45 minutes time. The day that I went with her and we were reviewing it, while I was with her, like this one, yeah, while I was with her like this one, there were about 7 and while we were reviewing the thing. So I asked the mom, this 45 minutes, and I said, I want honesty here because we don't have to waste our time, yeah? This girl has, and the mother was lying, and I said, look, I don't live in this house, yeah? This was something we set up. If you as a mother, you cannot monitor it, because the plan was that when he's doing her examination, or either she switches it off,
You
or
need
she
to
gives
take
the
the
mother.
phone from
Yeah,
her.
you're taking a phone.
She
Mother
was not
needs to
doing
take
it.
the phone
But
from
even
her.
when I went there and we were sitting down to review the thing, she had the thing on, and I said, this itself shows that. And as I was saying, within 5-10 minutes, there were about 7 and everything. She was so
Eager.
to me,
You know,
was eager to go. And to me, it's not, because to me, when you take any of the questions we asked here and you relate to this young person, it wasn't helping her, and she was not also helping herself. This was young person.
Because you need to ask yourself, how am I going to benefit from this?
And especially when you are
Is it
preparing for
going-
examination.
Yes, you're preparing for examination.
And you don't set the time
You're
to
writing your
revise.
exam. You need to set aside
No,
time
it's
to
way.
revise.
Yeah, that's why I find
You-
it easier to revise in the library. Because when I'm at home, when I'm at the library, yeah, the library I go to, there's a quiet
Trishna's.
zone. So you can't, like, you're not allowed to have your phones inside. It has to be turned off. So that you're focused. But for example, like if I'm at home, it's not like I won't focus, but I'll focus less because, like, if I get bored or tired, yeah, I'll just say, okay, let me.
How
I'll
do
go
you
back
get?
to
How
like
do you
5
get
minutes.
bored when you're studying?
No, Auntie,
if I
no,
get
like-
sometimes
So
you're
you
tired.
get up and go and
You
stretch.
get up and stretch and go for a walk.
Sometimes you just want to quickly check a notification.
No, so
That's
no,
why I
but
find it easier to revise
the
my
main
library
thing,
because I have
especially,
no
is when
distraction.
there's something happening with the, like in a group chat, so
Who
juicy,
cares? Is it going away? The juicy stuff that's
it will
happening.
go away. It will go away.
People will say you're late.
To me, it shows that no.
moment.
Yeah.
And to me, it shows a negative impact we are talking about now. See, because when you cannot allocate, for instance,
Did you hear that? You want to be part of the moment. So
yeah,
that
part
you
of the
let-
moment. So you're in the classroom and you want to be part of the moment.
No, uncle, when they're fighting, like, when they're fighting, when they're arguing, you want to be there.
You wanna be there, be like, ooh, it's
No, after.
Listen,
No, after.
there's something we call timing and location. Yeah, you have lessons. Let's say geography lessons from 9 to 10:30, right? Why do you have to be on any of your? That's why when you go to school, you are supposed to lock it. But yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. So you have to discipline yourself that there are times you don't need it. And if you can do that 1.5 hours for a lesson, why can't you do that one when you're doing something important?
That's because that's the.
Our school, they ban phones, and if they see you with your phone, they keep it for 1 week, and you get back on Friday.
Never let them take it. Never.
No, my one, I'm too scared not to allow. I give them. Well, if I tell them, good. The only time they'll allow you if your parent comes in and explains the valid reason why you need your phone, or no, they keep it for 1 week.
Yeah.
I think people need to set your priorities right, so that if my studies are my priorities,
Yeah, I
and
can study
therefore,
without my phone.
if a juicy in my examination period, I'm prepared to let go of juicy news.
Yeah, that's why a majority of us,
That's
like,
so hard.
for example, me, when
So
it
hard.
was my exams, I had to give my phone away because it's just easier. It helps you focus and, like what Auntie said, just prioritize your work.
You need to
And
prioritize.
after, when you're done,
Yeah, that's what
Live
Live
that.
my best life.
After
Live your
O's,
best
we
life,
always
you know
say,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Oh my.
Summer.
Yeah. So once you finish, you just you just enjoy yourself. But for if you're having your exams and things like that, it's about now we need to refocus on how we use
Yeah.
social media.
yeah.
Yeah. And it's an individual thing.
It's an
Because
individual thing.
somebody might be there, they do it, but at the same time they are concentrating. And remember when we asked the 6 questions, you got to go back to these questions and ask yourself which of these questions will impacting me that is affecting me. The last question was quite important, yeah? Negative impact on your studies. Young person prepare for examination. So that if you think that the juicy question the person is asking or you are going to see is going to affect you for 2 hours and whatever you are studying, Stephen, Rhoda, Daniel, Trish, that the 2 hours, that juicy thing will affect you the whole night, you can't study. Then it's an impact you got to consider.
Yeah, that's true, because not going to lie,
It's self-examination.
It means you're addicted.
You're addicted.
Yeah, because some people, they can revise for like, let's say 2 hours, but
They'll
on
need
their
a break.
phones for like 6 hours. You can just go on your phone for very long, but when it comes to like, that's what I'm saying.
It is true. Some people, it's disproportionate.
Yeah.
Sometimes they can be on social media, be on the phone, on Facebook, on Snapchat or wherever for about 6 hours, 5 hours.
Yeah.
But when it comes to studying,
Half an
she
hour.
studies 1 hour, half an hour, and she's
And
tired.
another one is not
I think for me, how I study is I will always be on the phone to one person.
No, I can't do that.
Yeah,
You have to be
I
quiet.
do that as well sometimes.
When I'm on the phone to one person, yeah, but me and that person are doing the same
Yeah,
work,
same-
and it's
same work.
but the thing you're not just talking about the work, you're talking about other stuff as well. But you're putting them inside bits and bits. And do you get what I mean? So like I can do that.
Are you really studying?
No,
Studying,
I can't-
yeah.
I can't focus like that.
And in that sense, with that young person, that person nobody's disrupting your trend. Because one thing about revision, yeah, that's why revision is important. That revision is individual because that person you are communicating, he or she might have studied in an area where you are weak. So the way I speak to young persons, or when they are saying they got exam stress or they are not focusing, is that you are comparing yourself to your young person or another person. That's not you have to have an individual plan for yourself.
Yeah.
My weaknesses and my areas. So now you haven't. Now you have to read the written. You have to prepare for the wilder things before you go in. So if it's on somebody on social media, and that social media, he's got a juicy stuff. He's going to talk to you later, and then juicy
Or
stuff.
insert it whilst you're talking to the person.
He or she might have revised so much that you don't need that one to distract you. And to me, you are not sticking to your plan. And that's what you need to think
You
about.
must
I
have
don't
a
get distracted
Okay, no,
when
it is,
it comes to that.
You might be weak on something, but that person might be strong on that something.
Yes.
So
No.
It might help you.
No, but what I'm saying is that you have to get a plan. So, for instance, you are weak in some aspect of geography. It could be geomorphology. When you are doing geomorphology,
morphology.
yeah, and an aspect of
I don't know what that is.
it's an aspect of geography dealing with yeah.
Get in there.
So you go in there, and your friend is helping you on that aspect. You got to have a plan that if you are going to speak to your friend and it's revision time, that's what you're going to discuss. But if it is taken over by other things, then you are not using social media to help yourself because that other discussion will be another time.
I know, but I'm not gonna lie. You can't just be on the phone and just talk about revision all the time. Do you get what I
Why
mean?
not?
No,
It depends.
actually, no. It
No, but
depends.
actually,
You-
actually,
I'm not
you
gonna
need
lie,
breaks in between.
talking on
You
the
need
phone
breaks.
for
Yeah.
revision.
And if those
it
breaks
doesn't
are like
happen.
talking to your friend breaks, then that's okay.
That's
But then
okay.
you need to go back to the work straight away.
Yeah, it's work
You
too
can't-
straight,
you can't-
and yeah.
you can't. What's the cause?
But what's the chances of that happening?
I disagree with that part because when you're on the phone. Let's say if you're taking a phone call in a short break of your revision time, if you're being realistic, yeah. Let's say, I'll talk on 5 minutes. The conversation may go on for more than 5 minutes, and after you're so into your conversation, you can't go back to revision.
Oh,
So
I
disagree
can.
with that.
That's you though.
No, it happens, Rhoda.
Babe, that's not me.
That's why I mentioned about the individual plan.
But Alex-
See, because remember, there are some people.
Yeah, exactly. That case
There are some
there.
people who can do certain
not the
things very
phone.
well than others. So, to me, social media, you are responsible for how you use it.
Yeah.
Because all you young persons, you have said, when we took these questions, you all answered differently. So, in detoxing or in self-examination, you take which one helps. To me, if I'm sleeping and this thing is there, it's going to disturb me. So, what do? I switch it off. That's me. Right?
Because I want to sleep.
I want to
Sleep
sleep.
is important, so it's a choice.
No, but you know
I
what
can't
happens?
Yeah.
turn off my phone.
And then when you wake up, your phone freezes.
All right. So,
This
that's
morning.
why most young persons, they will say, I had sleepless night. And when you probe, it's because this thing has been on all night. You can't be sleeping when you are having cuckoo in the night.
you
1
can do
1 a.m. and you are...
You can put it
Yeah,
on
airplane
airplane
or
mode.
silent.
I put it on airplane mode when
Yes,
I'm sleeping.
so that it doesn't disturb you. So why will you be sleeping when you are going to... You get up 4 o'clock to go to the loo, then you hear this and you come and check your Come on. Sleeping is sleeping. Have a good rest. So that tomorrow morning you can be refreshed and go to work or go to school.
I think that happens as well with like not only just social media.
Yeah, it's not
like,
just social media.
But for example, like let's say, do you guys watch let's say no, shut up, man. Like a Netflix series.
Wait, what? Black Lightning.
Oh yeah.
And if it's a good series, that's another one. Like
Binge watching.
yeah, you binge watch.
watch.
Like, I have a habit of doing
I
that.
can
But
binge
you just
watch
watch it the whole night. Then in the morning you just.
I can binge watch too. That's my
Yeah.
my secret.
All right.
I can
Is it?
binge watch.
Yeah, because then you are enjoying something.
Yeah.
Which is okay. Sometimes it's a way of maybe relaxing. Yeah. But to me, we are talking about something to refresh you in the following morning. So if you are binge watching and the morning your eyes is like this, you can't get up because you
That's
go to
a
school.
problem, yeah.
It's a problem. Anything you are using, which to me, if you don't get up, I'm taking myself. I know that if I have a good sleep, I'm very effective. In the morning, I get up, I'm smart. But if I have restlessness, it affects me the whole day. So my sleeping there, I will have to manage it, and that's me.
I
don't think social media. It's social media as well, but I think for restless sleep,
nights.
Yeah.
sleep.
It's nice.
Restlessness or restless. Good sleep. Use the
A
word
good
good
sleep,
sleep.
yeah,
Good
whatever.
sleeping, yeah.
I'm so bad at English. Like it could be affected by revision as well.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Anxiety.
Yeah, 'cause I'm not
Anxiety.
gonna lie. Things, I'm a person. I revise in the night. I cannot revise in the day.
Yes.
I'm a nat.
I can't do
I
that.
can't
I
revise
revise
in
in
the
the
night. I'll
night.
sleep.
So let's say that right now, when I finish this radio program, I'll go home. I'll get home around 8:30. Start revision at like 9:30, and then carry on until I fall asleep. And normally I fall asleep.
Where is your sleep gonna come in?
Yeah.
When I finish revising.
No,
Very
but
good.
But then you wouldn't have enough sleep because
Yeah.
everybody's
And it
supposed to.
won't
But
go
sleep.
in.
even
I
no,
don't
but
think
Andy
it's
told me
okay.
either way, if I have a good sleep or if I have a long sleep or a short sleep, either way in the morning for school, I will always be tired no matter what. If it's a good sleep or because I don't
Yeah,
like.
that's me.
You see what I mean? You'll
My
still
alarm will
be
set for
tired.
6:30. I
You'll
can't
still
get
be
up
tired
till
either if you got a long sleep. So I think
7:30.
it's just not
definition of a good sleep, like
8 hours.
You always wake up tired.
You still be
beyond
tired.
8 hours.
It's beyond.
When you
Young
actually-
persons,
Yeah.
These are the things I'm talking about. Forwarding. There's something about sleep, which I've got on my WhatsApp, and I'm going to forward to all of you. Yeah? Sometimes it's generic, but you could tap in and listen to this one. Is good for me, and that's what you need to learn. Going back to Rhoda, you got to set your pattern. Yeah, to say that there are times if I be able to study very well because I don't have that anxiety on me, I'm able to sleep well. You do it individually and make sure that you go to sleep before say 12 o'clock. One is important. Revision time. Somebody, if they stay up to say midnight, yeah, and they are going to school, they're going to struggle. You are individual. There's somebody.
You're
Depends on
human.
the
Your
person.
body
Your
has
body
been built
needs to adjust.
to have
And
a
there's some
good
people.
sleep.
Me, for instance, sometimes I have to get up 4 o'clock to do some reports. Why? Because I have not done it. There's no way I can go. Or this week, for instance, I'm rushing to work early. Why? Because there are certain things I need to go and do. And the whole week I've been doing that. That's okay. And the other times I struggle 7 o'clock to get up. Why? Because on my mind that pressure is not there. So sometimes you work in such a way that I have to go to bed, and my test is that I have to go find a good rest. Each individual, you need to work it out. How? There are times you don't have a choice. You have to do the work. You have limited sleep. But generally, look at yourself. If you're able to have a good drink, maybe water or good bath or something, do you sleep well? And that's why in every individual, because sometimes this social media issue is what we are talking about. Young persons will get ready to go to bed, but that is there, and they've set it so high that the next door can even hear one is belling or is doing the what do you call it, the notification. And those are the things we all have to learn for
Yeah,
individual.
I'm a light sleeper. If I hear my phone go off,
Very good.
Oh, no, I'm heavy,
what do you
I'm
do?
heavy.
You
So
switch it
turn-
off.
switch it
Turn
off,
turn
yeah.
it off because that
Yeah,
alone.
I just put it on silent. I can't turn it if I have an alarm.
Yeah, that's okay. Because we are,
I
we
log
are, we are
out.
talking
I
about
log out.
detox. Yeah, we are talking about because in that sense you have found an individual way of addressing an issue which will not be impact on your
You
following
need to
morning.
find out what the bottom line is. You have to be in control
Control.
Yeah.
Yeah,
of how you use
Use your-
social
yeah.
media.
definitely.
When you there are positives and there are negatives. When you look at the social detriment, it talks about cyberbullying, which we've talked about, but I'm reiterating again because it has caused a lot of suicides as well, because people have been bullied. Young people have bullied each other on social media, which is very, very bad. It says that cyberbullying has caused emotional trauma to people. Victimization by bullying online is 33%, 33.7% admitted to online bullying. They have bullied people, the keyboard warriors that we talked about. A study in 2012, I didn't get to go further with my research, found that at least 800,000 minors had been harassed on Facebook. Yeah? Middle school children also experience cyberbullying, and were almost likely to try to kill themselves, the middle school ones. Yeah? So adults also says that one way or the other, 50% said their relationship have ended as a result of something that happened on Facebook.
Yeah.
So social media is positive and it's negative. You as the individual have the ultimate responsibility on how you use social media. Yes, the companies also have, like Facebook, they have the responsibility to protect your private information, which is being dealt with. But you need to be vigilant. As individuals, we need to be vigilant in how we use it. If you don't want it out there forever, don't put it. Be careful how you put your children's information on there. What you're doing today may come back to haunt you in future. Young people, you need to remember, whatever you do today will come back to haunt you in future. When you've changed your lifestyle and you're a very upright person and you got this bright future ahead of you, and you got this aspiring, or you've got this potential to get a very good job, and then something comes back to haunt you on that you've done on Facebook before. So be very careful, be mindful. Let's go back to basics and remember the values, our values, respect for one another, respect for yourself as individuals. Do not, cheapen yourself on Facebook. Do not get on social media. You don't get involved with strangers, and the list goes on. The list goes on, but the ultimate is that you need to be responsible, take responsibility for your own actions on Facebook or on social media.
There was a research on smartphone addiction and screen addiction. Yeah, it says that in 2017 paper, they revisited. There was a paper research. The latest research on topics showed that on the topic showed that social media use for minority of individuals is associated with a number of other psychological problems, as well as including anxiety, depression, loneliness, attention deficit disorder. So going back to anxiety, it could be related to somebody not being able to concentrate, and in the way that impacts on their learning. Yeah, because sometimes there are two ways. You have not learned, or you have not prepared very well, and you are using social media so much that you are anxious. Yeah, we are talking about sleeplessness. So instead of having a good sleep, so you can sit down and revise, that becomes even, so anything you can't even concentrate. So you have set it up, and when it bells or when it vibrates or whatever you want to use it, then you go back and what?
My phone doesn't control me.
Yeah. So
for me, that's my ultimate. My phone doesn't control me. My Facebook doesn't. I don't even remember the last time I uploaded pictures on Facebook. It will be just the sharing the information. I don't even remember the last time it's really to catch up with friends and things. But I don't remember because I've got them on WhatsApp, so I don't remember doing Facebook and stuff like that. My point is, you do not let it control you. You are in control. Yeah. Be mindful of the information you throw out there, because it will come back to haunt you again. So anyone has anything else to say, because we want to end here. It's been an interesting topic. Yeah. And Sam, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I mean, the last thing I'm repeating again, which we said, that you as individual, Auntie has said, I'm repeating that, ultimately responsible for your own social media use. And always remember that you do not do something who could be used against you in future, because that one is important. And any information you put about other people and they haven't given you the permission, or going back to the consent we did again. If you want to put your own picture, it's okay. But if it's a group picture and you are putting on any of the social media, you got to be careful, because one of them will come back and say, why did you do this?
Does anybody want to give advice to the young people?
Just be careful of how you use it, and as Auntie said, if you don't want your information to be out, then keep it private.
Yeah, just be wise.
Just
about
be wise,
what you
yeah.
post, what you say, and what you do.
Yeah.
'Cause
Thank you.
It gets out there, so you don't want
Yeah.
to look back and be regretting it.
Yeah.
I want to say a very thank you to Angel Marie. She joined us from New York, and she really contributed very well. So thank you very much, Angel Marie.
you.
Join us again next time. Next week, we are here again next week, 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock, and we'll bring our topic back
Yeah.
in our next announcement. But thank you very much.
Thank you.
And
See you.
join you next week.
All right.